Good morning, everybody. It's Pernell here. I've been having a think about what I would have liked to have done right back at the beginning. What I did do right back at the beginning was follow a lot of creators with their idea books that they'd made, because there's so many different things that we can make and you need to experiment with them to find out what you like to use. I made this book, I think, following an ideas book that Corey Darman made. Pardon my kookaburras. I didn't follow her advice very well. I hope that's not as loud to you as it is to me. I didn't follow her advice very well, and I put more pages in the signatures, and by the time I've only not even filled the first one. By the time I get these filled, it's going to be a round, roly-poly ideas journal. Anyway, it's I think I used Peltex and 2 layers of fabric, added some pockets, and my dyed papers as 3 signatures, which I stitched in by machine. I love doing that. And then I proceeded to fill it with all sorts of little ideas that were new to me at the time. So, the diagonal pockets that we see everywhere, all sorts of interesting flips, some of which, like this little flip, I use all the time. I love these. Some of which, like the diagonal pocket, I don't actually like using. It may use book pages, but by the time you fill all these pockets with things, it gets very fat, and I don't know. I prefer, I suppose, simpler things that just give you a little bit of space to fill. Isn't that interesting? I haven't thought about that before. I wonder why. But something like this, where you've got, one pocket and something that opens out into writing. Now, as fun as this is to look through and remember all the different things, I rarely look at it, and I don't really remember what's in it when I'm making a journal. Now that's on me, just forgetting things again. But what I thought I might do was to revisit some of the ideas in here, but this time, instead of putting them all into a huge journal which sits on the shelf and is forgotten about, I might use one of my many little accordion journals that I made and actually just use one thing in it. Now, what I thought this one could turn into, find a pen, wonder if this will show up on the purple. This one is going to be ideas for envelopes. We seem to have accumulated an enormous stash of envelopes of all sorts. Let's just put a little envelope there. And yesterday I was watching, I think it was Kathy's Garden, but I'll link down below. And she used an ordinary envelope like this to create a very clever little, could be put in a signature, could be used as a flip with a pocket on each side. So couldn't be easier. Don't trust that. The first thing she did was to glue the flap closed, and then my little tiny trimmer. Then she trimmed just a tiny sliver, like, oh, here's some I did earlier, like this much, very small sliver. This is going to be the height, and I actually want mine to be a bit shorter for this, I think, because if I do it the full length, it's just a bit too tall. So I'll just take a little extra off here. Oh, and then that's not going to fit in there. Whoops. I shall use my scissors. Actually, I want it to be a little bit narrower as well. So I'll cut along there. See how straight that is, or isn't. Alrighty. Open it up and then create some pockets to your desired depth. And so that they sit better on your page, you can just trim a little V here. Didn't do it quite far enough. Don't do what I do. Start from the crease here and trim down. That's so much easier. Okay. Now, so this is going to be the inaugural envelope idea in my little fish book. And now the choice is, how am I going to put it in? I'm thinking I might glue it on. I might glue it on here. So if I glue that there, I'll want this pocket to go this way. And that pocket can go that way. And I won't need to decorate this side. Now I'll fast forward through my slow process of actually collaging this. Back in a jiff. What I wanted to show was my haul, not from Temu, this lot. This lot, I was, Q and I were exhibiting it at a collectibles fair. And oh boy, it's going to become my new favourite place to shop. I found this beautiful 1945 French diary with all sorts of little bits and pieces in it, and of course writing, sums, something from an abattoir. Oh look, even back then they had that little pocket. So isn't that glorious? So cute. I'll be using the pages and then reusing the cover, I think. Then the Woods Australian Diary from 1936. Farmers and Graziers Grain Insurance. This is lovely. And I think, yeah, this also has some very nice little, absolutely unreadable, something yesterday for a holiday. Maybe not quite unreadable, but lovely. Really like this. And then, look at this. A scribbling diary from 1909 with the calendars, and wonderfully aged. Won't have to do any inking on this one. And again, I think, oh no, ooh. Accident insurance for £500. Oh look. Anyway, I'm going to be brave and use some of these today. So here we go. Let's go. Oh, actually, let's go October, seeing as it is October. All right, we'll be pulling out a few pages. Oh, this is brave. I really need to get in the habit of using all the good things. If I can work out how to get them out. You know what? I'm going to rip it. Okay, we'll use a little bit of that. And maybe a little bit of this. Oh, maybe that. Okay, collage away. Oh, look. That's a bit too easy, isn't it? Okay. Take that to there. No collage required, really. Alright, now the smart thing to do would be line it up there and cut it here. Look, it takes me a minute, but I get there in the end. Sometimes. Okay, and that can just get folded up there. So, let's go. We refilled the glue, the art glitter glue recently, and for some reason this is very runny. Has anybody else had that trouble? Because it's rather annoying. Mine isn't as bad as Q's. Q's is really, like, you don't want to waste this stuff, right? It's expensive. Oh, look at that. That's my kind of collage. Done. I didn't need to do that, did I? Because that's folding up there. Okay, let's take that little bit off then. Old paper rips very easily. And then could just wrap that right around. Goodness, look at me using all the paper. Most unusual. Okay, so this little pocket, oops, needs something on it. This one, I quite like that. I might leave that fluffy edge. That'll work, more or less. This isn't nearly as painful a collaging process as I was expecting. Might be my new favourite thing. Use some vintage, you know, because here we've got a memory of the date. It is actually the 24th, I think, 25th. Memory of the date. Heaps of writing space. Strengthen that little pocket with this one. Lovely. Okay. All right. We need something for this one. I have got some eco print. Look at that. That's pretty much the right size. It is not going to what's the word? Tear. This is a I think this was the silk paper. Maybe if I cut it like that. Cutting a straight line is always a challenge. Okay, let's use this one. I will use the whole piece because otherwise you'll see that. I think I'll have it to that's getting glued into the book, so that can just go like that. Easy peasy. Now, of course, I could have made that a tuck, but too late. Too late. Oopsie daisy. Don't mind if it goes. Okay. Yeah. Little bit of inking. What did I say about not distressing the paper? Oops. Alrighty, there's one pocket. So that's what we'll see, and then this is what we'll see. So we need to just add something here. And rather than make a little scrap, I might simply glue that over. Okay, little bit of something. This was from an old book, actually the Paper Pleasures book that I used for the Midori Journal video. And it has these great margins, which look, I mean, it's like junk journal, instant junk journal collage without having to do any collage. So excellent for something like this, or someone like me. When you're having an indecisive day, use a pre-collaged piece. I think we can just cut that off there. Cut this off here. Oh, and then its little bottom. This little bottom I might actually glue down to the back for added security that it's going to stay on. Oh, or not. Let's try folding it first. That'll work better. Okay, a little bit of ink on my pants, and then we have our second little pocket. And we're ready to go into the accordion book as our first use for an envelope. Isn't it cool? Like now, it's pretty unrecognizable that this was one of these. Take your boring, endless supply of junk mail and transform it. Okay, so where did we decide? I think I was going to pop it good. Put it there. And I'll glue it in as a pocket, just in case I decide to add something at a later date. There we are, nicely framed by the underlying papers. I have a little tray of goodies here. We might add something. Here's one of my glass chickens which had an unfortunate accident, but it's going to work. Not on this journal with a fish perhaps, but I'm going to embed that with a bit of something, air dry clay or something similar, and have it on a journal topper, which will be rather cute. Oh, okay. You win. This is an offcut of a scrapbook paper. Oops. And just because we can, let's put this in as a little top tuck. And that can go there. And that little stamp can slide in there. So we have a pocket here and a pocket here. And I feel like I just want to add a bit of something else. Maybe I'll put that there. I love these offcut edges of spiral bound books. They look so good, even though they're a bit twiddly to glue. There we go. Beautiful. Done. So our first envelope idea for this little book. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed this idea of keeping your ideas categorized for easier access. So when you want to play with your envelopes, you can just grab this and you'll have all of your envelope ideas in one spot. Thank you for watching. A big thank you for subscribing to all those who have, and for liking and commenting. It's a real thrill to get that feedback after sitting here talking to myself at the desk. It's nice to know someone's watching. See you next time.